action required is further investigations and to change soon. May I emphasize that this was done only for the 5th percentile, and obviously for the 50th and the 95th percentile, the results were rather much higher, the final scores. So after all the scoring and observations were done in this particular workplace, what we have there is the posture that would subject the worker to the most economic risk. I did a calculation there of showing the welding frequency and also the health effect that the worker is caused due to this particular posture. As I've mentioned, that I used the questionnaire to do my validation to obtain a subjective answer from the workers. I had the age distribution, which was done because of, mainly you'd find that the older workers are more subjected to those musculoskeletal disorders than the younger workers. So, according to this particular population, 37% of the workers were falling between the age of 30 and 39. The health status during employment, it showed that I was assessing how physically or mentally tired are the welding workers. It showed that most of them would say that they're often physically tired after their welding operations. And most of them showed that they were, however, sometimes mentally tired after their work operations. Work activity constraints. This was showing to show that the workers' response from work activity constraints in terms of productivity. So it would show where exactly within which body parts do they feel more strain. And the workers' response from which discomfort occurred during work. Most of the workers say that yes, they do feel discomfort during their welding operations. And the other one shows where exactly, on which body parts exactly do they feel most of the discomfort. Most of the workers indicated that on their neck and on their backs and their shoulders and their feet also. Finally, when all the assessments and questionnaires were done, a concept generation is proposed in which 7 factors were looked into that would possibly be the most suitable factors in order to create that ergonomical workstation. It was adjustability of the workstation, the maintenance, and how the idea was that in order to have this workstation, it shouldn't be so tedious to maintain. The cost, the ease of operation, comfortability of the workstation, and the safety. Okay, these are the 3 concepts. The 3 concepts that were proposed, in which the first concept, it's, okay, all the concepts, the tables are adjustable, whereby currently the workstation, the table that they work in, it's not adjustable, it's just rigid and standard and fixed. So in these concepts, the tables are all adjustable. The workers have back support. Then in concept 2 and 3, the workers actually have a stand-sitting support. The stand-sitting support is adjustable to suit the height of the worker or the individual worker. In concept 2, not only is the table adjustable up and down, but it is also adjustable according to the angle of how the worker prefers to be doing their work. Also, there's a support for the arm. And also, there's a cabin next to the worker in which he can store all his tools. This is a summary. This is a summary that I was just explaining, in which they have mentioned the advantages and disadvantages of each and every one of those concepts. Then finally, decision matrix or decision technique was to be used in order to select the most preferred or the best concept. Percentage weight score of the performance decision criteria is presented as follows. Those are the points that I mentioned at the beginning of my concept generation introduction, and then the weight factors for the performance decision criteria. Finally, the formula that I used in rating those concepts is introduced there on the bottom right. When all the calculations were done, concept 2 scored the highest score of 1.54, giving it the first ranking. And then concept 2 scored the second highest, therefore meaning that concept 1 is the more preferred concept for the suitable workstation. Here what you see here, this is a closed file drawing with a CAD drawing as well, using the software CAD, also with a mechanical labeling of the exact workstation, how it will be. As I conclude, the study conducted a questionnaire survey amongst various welders at the train assembly plants at company XYZ. Most workers did indicate that they do feel discomfort when they have to do their work operations. Therefore, we introduced a workstation, a workbench in which it is adjustable in terms of height and the surface position. The study concludes that workstation designs that are adjustable in height and surface, they can offer suitable comfort for the work for different percentiles. I would love to acknowledge the following: Tshwane University of Technology, Gibela as well, and National Research Foundation. My achievements was a conference paper that was accepted in New Zealand, and future work to actually get the opportunity to draw up this design, or to design this works, actually to implement all this, and also to run it, the software, to see how the results come out, and also to continue writing more papers. Furthermore, to obtain my PhD as soon as possible. Thank you. The system is mobile as it's got wheels, okay? But in terms of flexibility, it is very flexible. That was the whole idea in the first place, so that it can cater for the various percentiles as well. So it's not only adjustable in terms of only the chair, it's adjustable in various modules, okay? Finally, I think I would like to get it to a point in which it even has sensors, in a way that it can sense when the person is not even sitting comfortably, so that there's an indication to show that, no, correct your posture, to integrate Industry 4.0. I don't want to lie and say I have the final cost projections right now, especially considering I really do want to get this out the way. So the cost is now when you start talking your PhDs and your implementations, okay? So it's not something that I'm going to overlook, because that is very important. Hence I mentioned there in my criteria factors that cost is one of the important factors to consider. I did find other studies based on this. However, this was based specifically for the South African population. Hence, my emphasis is for the South African population. So you might find that the results are not so closely related, because as people we do have various human dimensions, especially the South African population. But those populations that were very close to our dimensions, they do relate in some way. And another reason that I did the studies was it was somehow a niche for me, you know, a research niche whereby it's not a study that's as popularly done, you know. You find that especially with the standing welders, you know. So because some of the welders, you find that they weld up some well-rounded student. So that's another focus. The other focal point is that I was focusing on the workers that are working on a workbench.